What's up, everybody? Simon here. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about my recent trip to New York. I got invited by Amex Centurion to be part of their 25-year Centurion anniversary, which held a private, or I would say a more private concert with about 150 people or so, with Ed Sheeran singing and performing for 1 hour in this auditorium that was magical. I'll talk a little bit about the trip. We also got to check out the Centurion Lounge in New York, which I think I'll have to do a separate review, even though I'll mention it on this video. But overall, here's the video about the New York trip for Amex Centurion's 25-year anniversary, which I got to be part of, with Ed Sheeran performing. My wife and our two daughters went, and it was incredible. So let's get into this video. So first thing first, I love New York. New York is like always alive, okay? New York makes San Francisco look like a sleepy town. It is a town where you go to relax and do your kumbaya stuff and your pot or whatever the hell you do out here in San Francisco, maybe great tech products, etc. But New York is just magnificent. It's always on. There's things to do. There's so many restaurants. The city is alive. Whether you're getting honked at, cursed at, people are honking at you, you're honking at them. Police in cars that are undercover. At the same time, there was the UN Council meeting, so we've had so much security everywhere. I felt safe in New York. I love New York. The level of sophistication people that live in New York have is so much more acceptable, or so much more on a higher scale than maybe San Francisco, which is more laid back, and any other place that I've visited. People take care of themselves. They walk a lot, so they're in shape, they're fit, at least in Manhattan, I should say. When I talk about New York, I'm talking about Manhattan. I think it's important to point that out because not everything's as nice as the places in Manhattan are. But in Manhattan, I mean, the professionals look professional. They looked fit. Everybody has their own style, very sleek, and we got a chance to go out there. The first stop that I do when I go to New York, the Russian side in me wants to go to a restaurant called Marijuana. Now, you're going to ask me if this is a pot place. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with pot. It is a Russian restaurant. Look it up. This restaurant was incredible. It has some of the best Russian food if you're in the Manhattan area or around those areas. It's delicious. There's also a restaurant in London that I've been to as well. And I think they have others, like in Baku, Azerbaijan, where I was originally born, but haven't been back since I was 8. Great restaurant. We enjoyed that time there. Of course, in the morning, we went to another Ukrainian place called Visolka. It was so fun. We sat outside, enjoyed it. I love having a car during these trips. So every time we travel, I get a car and we get to explore and drive around. And driving around New York City was what it sounds like, crazy. The kids went around Soho. They went into the Prada store where they sat on the stairs. Nowadays, those might be robots. We don't know. I even saw a company called The Travel Agency with a red and white banner that looked like my company, The Travelers Agency. And I was like, wait a minute, we don't have an office in Manhattan. And then boom, it turned out to be a dispensary of marijuana, which is really crazy. There's no affiliation here. It's a cannabis store. And I have the logo with the American flag. We went all over the place, to FAO Schwartz, to some of the coolest spots you could go to in New York. It did rain during the time, but that did not stop us from having a great time. I got to check out some music at these Sky bars. There's so many Sky bars in Manhattan. If you could get to one, I don't know what the best ones are. Just list them below in the comments if you've been to New York or Manhattan. But we've got to go to one in our hotel. Our hotel was in a crazy area where there's lots of traffic, so it took about 10 minutes to get out of one street. We went to another restaurant where we had some great wine. I think it's called Makaira. I don't know, but I just enjoy the company so much I forgot about the restaurant name. It's one of those places you go under. A lot of bars in New York, you go walk down and you go under. It's like a speakeasy vibe, and I love that. Drank some great wine called Bigarro, Tura 20. Went through Central Park, went through the meatpacking district. There were elephants that are made out of like this bamboo sticks, I guess. in the park as displays. Our kids loved it. They loved the mini elephants, the big elephants. Went to a restaurant called Budokan. And then I was surprised. I first time went to, and I maybe have been before, a Starbucks Reserve. I'm not a Starbucks fan at all. I don't like the company. I don't like their vision personally. But the Starbucks Reserve blew my mind. The food was fantastic. The coffee was incredible. The presentation was great. This knocks Starbucks completely out of the water. Starbucks Reserve, in my opinion, should just be called something else. But the experience from ordering to the quality of food to the bakery, I mean, this is a different level. And here's the thing. I talked to their roaster there. The roaster's like, hey, I tell my friends I work at Starbucks Reserve and they think I work at Starbucks. He's like, it's two different things. It's complete polar opposites. And now I understand his frustration trying to explain to someone on a date or to his friends that he works at Starbucks. Because Starbucks Reserve is like driving a Rolls Royce in compared to a Starbucks, which I would say is like driving a Saturn or, a Saturn. Look up that car. They even had iced coffee with these cool ball ice cubes in a glass. And the roastery had so many locations of roasting the beans. They talk about it. You could ask their professional there on site what it takes to roast, how long he roasts. There's tasting, so you could do some tasting tours. It's incredible. We even drove down to where they filmed I Am Legend. I think it's the Grand Central building. I would imagine that's what it is. There's a clock there, and it was cool to go through the building and kind of experience that whole thing. Anyway, I love New York. I think it's a level of sophistication that's a joy. If you live, say, in Florida, you want to get out and you want to experience that culinary in New York that New York has to offer. I think if you live on the East Coast, you got New York nearby. I wouldn't live in Manhattan personally. It's too chaotic, too hectic. I would be out. Some people love the chaos. I think chaos is fun to visit. Comment below if you agree with that. So I would want to come in and I would want to go out. I would not want to stay there for the long term. Driving through New York, there's these cool statues. I've seen these in Florida and Miami. I forgot the artist. So if you know the artist, comment below. It's statues of a man holding a briefcase and half his body's missing and you could see through. I took this picture while driving. There's the US flag and the back of a statue looking at the other statue, and they're both kind of dressed differently. And the flag was there through his body. I just loved it. This was a photograph that I want to keep forever. All right, so it was a good one. Let me know in the comments if you like it. All right, here's the fun part. During this whole Centurion event, we obviously had to go and see the Centurion New York. I made videos about it. I was excited when it opened. Amex Centurion never invited me personally. That is not something I want to talk about. But anyway, I did get a chance to go. They were welcoming. We went there. They gave us a tour of the Centurion. I'm going to do a review on the Centurion New York experience. I went there one day, I believe. Once out of this trip. I'll be back. But it's a beautiful, gorgeous 360 view of Manhattan. It's, I think, on the 55th floor. Correct me if I'm wrong. At the One Vanderbilt building. Incredible views, great food, great bar. People are dressed very professionally. So if you do go there, make sure that you wear the proper attire. My wife and I took a picture with this Chrysler building in the background. It just was stunning. And they're celebrating 25 years of Centurion. They had these menus there that were incredible with the 25 years of Centurion, cocktails, wine. I'm not a big drinker. A glass here and there is fine with me, but they had everything that you want to order there, and the staff was very nice. One thing that really caught my eye was this private dining room with a private lounge within this private dining room where you could seat up to, I believe, 12 guests. And it's just this private room with a corner view of Manhattan with this private lounge in a secret room. It was just very nice. And I'll review that as well. Finally, we got to the main event, seeing Ed Sheeran perform live. Let me tell you something about Ed Sheeran. One of the best performances I've ever been to. I've been to a few. I'm not the best band goer or concert person, or we have outside lands in the Bay Area, Bottle Rock and Napa Valley, but I'm not that guy that's going to give you the best reviews on concerts. But Ed Sheeran made all the music himself. He recorded it on this recording software as he made the song and the beats, and then he sang, and then he even did an a cappella. Incredible performance. What a nice gentleman. Our kids loved it. We loved it. The most amazing part was Ed Sheeran really making this music. His voice is like no other, but making this music. He writes his own music. He makes his beats. I mean, it was incredible. After the Centurion event, which had great food, I've had people come up to me at the Centurion event. Actually, we should back up. I've had people come up to me at the Centurion event and say, hey, you're that guy off YouTube. I watch your videos. I would ask them why they do that, and I ask you guys why you're doing that now. But if you like them, hit the like button. And I try to give those individuals as much time as I could while still making sure my kids don't burn the place down, okay? It was fun. I believe a couple names that popped out was Mark. I forget your last name. I apologize, but thank you for watching. One individual that recognized me, we had the same watch on. That was pretty cool, so I enjoyed that. We got to talk a little bit about the watch and connect. A lot of people were from New York there, so they were surprised that we flew out all the way from California for this event. Of course, having the last name Katz after this event, which went tremendously fantastic. We're, as you can see in these videos and these pictures, we got a chance to go to Catz Deli. I've been to Catz Deli when I was a young man. I walked all of New York, which surprisingly you could do in one day. And it was fantastic to watch him cut the meat, to build the sandwich. We had the best waiter who did not give two F's. He was talking about politics. He was like this true New York attitude that we're missing in America. I wanted to take a picture with him. And this dude was so funny. His employees came up to me later like, why'd you get this guy started? I was like, I love this guy. Their pastrami sandwich, man, I miss it now. I could taste it still. I miss it. I want to go back. They also had the Reuben. The Reuben was good, but I'd get the Reuben with pastrami. I took a picture next to their 132-year anniversary sign at the Catz Deli, and a picture with my son. That's a memory I'll always remember. I love him. And Catz Deli ordering system. I mean, that place is packed, so that was intense. We also went to Times Square, enjoyed all of that. But just getting back to Centurion, just wanted to thank Amex. The event was sophisticated. It was elegant. There was a welcome message, which I will add here. And overall, it was just such a spectacular event. Everything from the check-in to the cocktails to the drinks, like wine and such, to the quality of food. They had seafood. They had all types of, they had salami, they had bites, and they had, fish and you name it. So the quality of the food was so good. The venue, to sit down, to be in a little private event, to watch Ed Sheeran perform live, we ordered more premium seats. It wasn't free, but our seats were like, 20 feet from Ed Sheeran. And that was an amazing experience that I think our kids will cherish. We took a lot of videos and really enjoyed our time. I hope to go to more events. So I told them, I said, hey, fly me out to more events. Hopefully one day Amex gets me to one event that they want me at to do one of these cool videos. Comment below if you think any particular place would be cool to review. But I just had such a fantastic experience, and it was cool to be recognized somewhat. I didn't know sometimes people are staring at me because I've done so many of these videos. Listen, I'd rather be rich than famous, but some people were staring. I don't know what they were staring at me because they recognized me or because they didn't like me, because they thought that I was cool, whatever. It was weird, but some people actually came up, and I thought that was really cool. So if you ever see me anywhere at these Centurion places or whatever, say hi. I may look like unapproachable because my kids are running around trying to burn down the place and I'm keeping a tab on them. But I'm very welcoming, so just say hello. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe. Check out the Ideal Hour podcast with me and a bunch of cool guests. That's available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I'll check you guys here later, and I'll do a full review on the Centurion Lounge in New York as well. Thanks. Bye.